Hello everybody, welcome back to the Daily Creative Challenge. Day 2 of the challenge, day 3 of me. Welcome everybody in the chat. Would love to know where you're coming from again. If you're here from yesterday and the day before, thank you for being here. Got tons of cool stuff to show you again. And just to kind of refresh your memory on where to access challenges, we are gonna go to my screen and we are gonna check out just a quick, oh, this is not the screen. Here, let's see, challenge, XD, there we go. So day 2, you're gonna find everything the same place you found it yesterday. So thank you everyone who's here, Alexandra, Leo, Richard, Philippe, Vladik Dragon, that is an amazing name, from Russia. Thank you for being here. So just wanna jump in because we got a lot of stuff to do. We don't have much time. So you're gonna receive your challenge. You're gonna check out the community. We're in the current challenge. Oh, there's just tons of cool stuff. We're gonna review your work that you submitted later on in the show. But yeah, so you're gonna come into day 2, February 5th, that's today, right? We're gonna work with components today. So if you haven't used components, it's gonna be a good day to learn them. You're gonna get started by hitting this button and checking out the link on Dropbox. And then once you get that, you'll have what I have, which is this file. I have a few more things in preparation for my export for when I share with y'all. Voodoo Val, what's up? It was really great meeting you in person yesterday. That was cool. And on Monday. So I'm just gonna jump into it because I got a lot to do and I am really excited to share what I'm doing. So day 2 of the challenge is gonna be designing an interface for at-home climate control app. So the idea of this theme for this challenge is to teach you some interaction design tips, but also these features that we're using components, but centered around designing your home and your life. So don't look too far from where you are. We all know that air quality is something that we struggle with in California, in our houses with all this crazy flu stuff. So why not take a look at some of the technology that's available to keep our air clean, right? So if we could figure out how to leverage that data to design it, that's what we're looking to do. Also, I just want to show you what inspired this. So I got this book. It's called User Friendly by Cliff Kwong and Robert Fabricant. It's really good. Highly recommend it for just the ideas that it inspires about touching on what user experience design is and some of the places you can find it. So there's a lot of really cool stories that are in there, but there's a quote that just stood out to me. It's from Don Norman. So realize that there wasn't any understanding of technology combined with psychology. We were building technology for people, but the technologies didn't understand people. So we are trying to build technologies, design technologies, that way we understand ourselves. And we're gonna try using the icon drop. All right, so we're looking at Nest, what they do. We're looking at some different patterns. I kind of like this style, but we're gonna try something new with the design. So let's get into it. And if I don't finish, it's okay. I'll post what I had planned on finishing later, but I do want to get to what you guys designed, so I'll make sure to have time for that. All right, so just getting started. I think I chose iPad. I changed it up. I want to do iPhone for this. So just if you don't mind, I'm gonna stick with the iPhone device. So I want to do a dark color. So I had kind of some colors in mind that I've been playing with, and I want to do a dark color. I'm using this asset panel, and I saved some colors. And I made a little logo. I know I kind of jumped the gun on some stuff, but I'm gonna name my little product here Particles, because they are the things that we need to control. And also just interaction plan. This is something that I always do. So just kind of my wireframe for what I need to do. So I got a logo, I need a settings. So let's get a little rectangle going. I always do rectangles when I do circles, if that makes sense. You could always make them by using this handle or using these controls here. You can make circles, you can make square circles, but you can't make circle squares. So if you want flexibility, these are really cool to use. And so I'm gonna use a plugin to get a picture on here. So I'm gonna use something called UI Faces. So instead of using my own face, why not use someone else's? So let that kind of recognize in a second. I also do like really a proponent of like adding borders and margins to places where you need them. So I'm going to do a 20-inch border there and a 20-inch border on the right side, just so I keep everything in line. And then maybe I'll add one here too. Do like a 30. So that way everything is kind of nice and spaced out properly. So Soundar, thanks for joining us from India. Cornelian, your work was great. I can't wait to review what you're doing there. Tim, always great to see you. All right, so I'm hopping in here. I'm going for a unsplash. Let's see. Unsplash. Let's do female. Let's do happy. And brown. Sure. Apply. Random stuff, and it's gonna work and do its trick. And look at that. I have a profile. It's not the greatest resolution, but I think it'll do for what we're trying to do here. Maybe I'll put a little outline on that. All right, so what else I got? I got tons of stuff to do. Temp humidity. Okay, so I just gonna go here and say like, all right, 70, this is internal, right? So 75 degrees, and I know how to do that. Let's see, 75 degrees. Oh, all right, let's see. 75 degrees. How do you get, oh, it looks like I made it an outline shape. There you go. That is not the right one. All right, I don't know how to do the degrees icon, so I'm gonna do a circle. Ellipse, boom. If anybody remembers how to do a degrees on your keyboard, you can let me know, because I forgot. All right, and I'm not gonna fill that, but that's okay. I'm gonna group that. And then, so I'm not gonna make a component out of that yet, but I'm gonna put that here. And then I'm gonna do another little thing below here. And I'm gonna put like humidity, because I think that's important for your house, right? So like usually it's like 40 to 50%. So let's do 46% on the humidity side. All right, so that looks good. I now need to design a card. So one of the things that I want to do is just kind of have a card that kind of expands and contracts. That's just at least the idea I had. And for whatever you do, just make it your own and see what works for you. I'm going to do a white border, kind of do some minimal design here. Use a rounded corners, go about 16. And now I can get into like designing some of this, like the bulk features. So I know I need to get, I need to have like an indicator. So what is gonna be like the weather type? I'm gonna do circles, because I'm kind of playing off the same like particles metaphor to indicate the air quality. And this is the air quality of my living room, so I do have to add that as well. I have some colors that I've kind of set aside here. And now I can say like, this is fair air quality. And all right, I got that. And so now it's like, what happens to like the type of people in this environment? So like, I think a fair air quality is like maybe not safe for sensitive groups. So there's always a way for you to inject some like inclusive design into what you're making, and just like simple messaging telling people like with sensitive groups might be people that need to be aware of their conditions. Because like, it's nice and novel for us to have this, but people with like pulmonary diseases, like this can be really, really life-saving, potentially for people that have to just watch out for the way the air is. So just something to keep in mind when you're making these experiences. Just like, a little bit of inclusive design is always good. All right, and then the AQI, that's the air quality index, and we're gonna just do that, and then I'm gonna add a bigger number. So let's see, like 180 is the air quality, right? And then let's get a little like pen tool and make a little line. Let's see, white. All right, So it's coming together here. So now I can make some components. This is kind of ready for like a component, you know, so I can like make more. But I did remember that I needed to like say what this is. So this is maybe my family room, because you can have multiple air. If you have like any type of like air purifier in your house, you might know some of the vitals that are on a reader. So like you can always then add more to your room and then connect this whole like system. So you can like potentially add more in your settings, right? So right now we're just gonna do one item or one card, but like there's probably more information that you might need here. So what I'm gonna do is get all of this stuff. Actually, this right here, I kind of like this as a component, and I might reuse it. So I'm gonna go ahead and select it, right click, and then you can do make component, but you can also do Command K. So this is the tool that we're really trying to learn today. Let's center it just to make sure everything's all good. Command K makes it a component. Now I can reuse that. And this too, I might want to reuse that. So like Command K, and then this whole card actually is a component, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So this whole thing has nested components inside it, which is awesome. But you know what? There's might be more information in here that we might need to get. So let me let's do like a little card with. I was trying to think of ways to make it obvious, like with signifiers, that you can access more information here. So I'm gonna do some like dots. Let's see. So if I just do the ellipse tool, do a 6 pixel by 6 pixel dot, no border, and then I use the repeat grid, and I just have 3 dots. Oh, that did not work. 3 dots, right? And then not too far apart, 5 pixels, something like that. I mean, it's good for now. We'll see how this works. You can always change it later. And I usually ungroup them once I'm done, just because it's just the way I work. Oh, so this is now a group, and then let's center that. And then basically what this is saying is like there's more information down here. So if you click it, you can access more. So I'm gonna get a little fancy right now. I'm going to make component state. So this is something I asked you to try. So if you can, go ahead and try it. It's a new state, and I'm gonna do expanded, call it. So this is still playing with the idea of components, but we're going a little fancier now and going into component states. So I'm on the expanded state, and I want to drag this down. Oh, not that. Just the border, right? And let me see, what's the padding on here? 10 pixels between. If you hold any layer and then option, and you can get the readings of distance between the pixel distance between objects, so which is really, really good to get your spacing right. Oh, I did it again. So go down, and let's just open it to like right here, and we'll see if that's far enough. And bring this down. What's it? 10 pixels, right? Yep. Okay, so I have some more stuff I need to put below here. So I didn't get the time. I'll put the time up later, but the air quality card is really important. So I need an indicator. I got a message. I got the AQI. I'm doing expanded, so I need some other readings. So the AQI is a combination of things. So we need to make sure that we are representing the type of data that is important. So like TVOC is just toxic air. I can't remember the acronym. If someone wants to look it up, that would be awesome. TVOC is basically a way to talk about like the common pollutants in the air, like smoke and like fumes, like even farts. So those things get picked up. PM 2.5 is particulate matter that's bigger than 2.5 diameter and size, and then carbon monoxide. Okay, so TVOC. And I've already like saved these fonts, just so you know. I'm using Freight Sans. That's kind of like just the one I'm gonna be using this whole time. I kind of just recently found it and thought it was pretty cool. And then I'm gonna do some like readings here. So rectangle, let's do like here, and then like around these corners. And I'm just gonna keep it white for now. All right. And I'm gonna make a component out of this too, right? Why is it doing that? Let's see. this is outside. There you go. Okay, so now I can make this a component. Or actually, you know what? I'm just going to repeat grid this because I need 3 different readings and I want to keep consistent with my spacing. And then you can change the readings in a second. But this one's PM 2.5, particulate matter 2.5 or bigger. And then carbon monoxide, super important. I have a carbon monoxide detector that constantly is beeping because it's malfunctioning. And that's kind of what inspired me to do this is it's really hard to know what is going on with the air quality and like get granular with it. So like maybe there's nothing here to report and you can like make it gray, right? But maybe this one is PM25 is a little less because it's more toxic. This is, but the TVOCs are a little bit maybe off the chart, right? So like, there you go, that's something. I also think what's really important to know is historical data. So I'm gonna make a line or steal this line because it's the right thickness and just make it a little bigger with the width. All right. Let's see. So thinking about historical data being really important here because you want to be able to search through all of your vitals in your house. So I actually designed something before here and I access it in my assets panel and it's a little graph. You can make these with repeat grids. That's what I did. Just do a repeat grid and this way. But I'm going to take these same shapes here and just kind of rotate them. All right, line it up there like so. And so these are also like daily readings and you can think about time versus the quality. And so like, just kind of like doing repeat grid again. All right. All right, so we have like some readings like that. And then you can change the sizes as you see fit. But what I wanted to show you too is if you wanted to get a little fancy, you can. I'm gonna add a, let's see, add a rectangle. And I'm actually gonna do something with masks. So I think you can get a lot of cool like readings with masks. So like we know that green is good. So I have a color here that I can use that. Let's see, I know that's a good color. But I also know that, let's see, red is like the bad color, right? So we're kind of using common tropes, which is completely fine to do. So like red is kind of what you want to watch out for. But what I want to do is send this to back, all right? And then get all these guys. Access my, I gotta get these. Select all that, and then I'm gonna group these actually. Where are they? Let's see, let's select them individually. So if I get all these guys and I group them, and I got 6 minutes left, guys, so I haven't forgot about you. Mask it. That's not doing it. It's okay. That's okay. You know what? I'll figure that out in a minute. Looks like it should work though. All right, I'm gonna figure that out later, and I'll upload it what it looks like, and maybe show you something with it later. But it's getting a little fancy over there. All right, so we do know that we've been working this whole time in this expanded state, so which is cool because now I can show you like how it works. All right, so if I were to go to this and go to default state, oh, this didn't copy in. It's okay. So for some reason, all right, well, I'll just leave it like that. So that's kind of like where I was going with this project. And then I wanted to bring in like outside readings, but I want to get to your work. So I'm gonna come back into designing this if I have more time. And I'll post like the full project in a second. So these are the kind of things that we want to look out for with your air quality like controllers is knowing the indicator, what the quality is, a little message, the air quality itself. You can even put like a little like last updated kind of thing, because I think that's important, like last updated February. Oh, that's not how you spell February. February 5th, 12 p.m., something like that. I think those are important things. Offset these maybe by making them smaller in certain areas. And I'll upload and share like my final design after. But I did want to like think about like what it could look like if you had outside readings too in juxtaposition. So that's something to keep in mind too, is like understanding your reading versus the reading of the outside, just to know that like, hey, maybe there's something going on why it's like coming in my house. So those are things to consider. And I think using like a pattern that is like Apple uses, I think they're really good, is like being able to have these like peaking kind of these peaking like cards, right? So like you can have one of these like that, and maybe like the outside air quality is like here, and you can kind of drag it up. So it's an idea to think of if you can get that far to like have a juxtaposed air quality, because I had an idea that it would be something like all the way up here. You can like drag this, and then I can make like a rectangle, and then drag this like image into it. All right. So like what your air quality is versus the area around you. And maybe you can like bring in like these guys. And like have like dots around here. And so like you could be able to drag this up and kind of see what's going on with the city around you. So that's kind of like what I was thinking for this concept. And then once you're done, you're just gonna like, put it into the screens here and then upload it. I did, if you saw, I shared my yesterday's challenge. So something like this is what I wanted to put it in context to show you what it could look like in an environment. So that's kind of like the ideas. But I'm gonna look at what you all submitted. Saw some really cool stuff here, and I'll go through this again and give you some feedback more personally. But I was just really excited to see like all this creativity that went into exploring this idea. Like really, really like super impressed by the work that was submitted. Like this is beautiful. Like I'm just like really thrilled. Like I was kind of not sure how people would take this. I just saw some really cool submissions. So yeah, like just to kind of like show more, like go through this, go to the Discord channel and the current challenge and see what people are doing. This is amazing. And I love how like there's some similarities to what I did, but like a lot of it is really different. And this is like, look, like Google Calendar, like updated, amazing. I really, really love it. Being able to see like interactions too is just really awesome. I'm gonna take a look at Cornelian's because he was one of the first ones to submit, and I just really liked his concept. So if you're still there, like really great job. Putting in the mood and style already, like just getting in it, like the components. Really already taking the initiative to flesh out a case study, which is going to be what we're going to be doing in a few days next week. So just to kind of let you know, a heads up, the plan for this is to do these concepts and pick the best concept and iterate on it and make it even better. So we're going to keep doing that. So I'm going to go through these and give you some feedback and just kind of liven up the projects more, because I think they're looking fantastic. So like that's all I got for today. I'll post my work and share it with you on the Discord channel. I hope to see you back tomorrow and to keep pushing these ideas. Sorry I didn't get to the channel too much to chat. Had a lot to do. I didn't even finish, but I got pretty far. So more tomorrow. Stay tuned for our next guest. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.